Hi, good day. My name is Elfreda. I'm the Client Portfolio Manager at Alphinity Investment Management. Today I have Mary Manning with me. She's one of the Global Portfolio Managers, and today we will be reflecting on some of the key highlights from 2023 and really what we are looking out for as we head into the new year. So Mary, first off, 2023 has been an interesting year. Lots happened as always. Can you flag a few key themes or highlights that you would like to point out from the year?
I think there are two things. First of all, 2023 was characterized by two main thematics. In the first half, you had AI because ChatGPT launched at the end of 2022, and then that really took off in the first half of 2023. And then the second half, you had the GLP-1 drugs, the anti-obesity drugs. Yeah. So the good news is that we did have exposure to both of those things. As you know, we follow earnings leadership, but there were certain stocks exposed to those thematics where you could see it in the earnings. Mm-hmm. So from an AI perspective, we held Microsoft, Google, and NVIDIA. And from a GLP-1 perspective, we held Novo Nordisk. So those two thematics were important. The second key feature of 2023 was the rise of the Magnificent Seven, or people have shortened it now to the Mag 7. Yes. Obviously, in the first half of the year, just owning all 7 of those would have been the right thing to do. But we are very disciplined in our approach, and we only hold the stocks that are getting earnings upgrades. So we held Google, Microsoft, and NVIDIA, and for part of the year we held Apple, but we didn't hold all of the Mag 7. Yes. The good news is that going into 2024, we feel strongly that it's going to be stock picking within the Magnificent Seven and not just the decision to own all 7 or to not own any of them, but that there's alpha to be generated by picking the right ones within those mega caps.
Yes, so with that 7 stocks just contributing 70% of year-to-date returns, it has been really narrow, and I guess we've seen that across some of the other global markets as well. So as we look into 2024, what are some of the things that you will look out for and really pay attention to as far as key themes or thematics that you will look at?
So as you know, we follow earnings leadership, and so from an earnings cycle perspective, you had a big downdraft during COVID, and then you had a big up, and then you had another earnings cycle going down. Yes. And you've seen it sort of been bouncing along the bottom, and sometimes you've seen PMI start to turn up, but there hasn't been a very definitive bottoming in the earnings cycle. So we're certainly looking for that going into 2024, and then that will have implications for some of the stocks that we hold in the portfolio. The second thing, which everybody's very focused on for obvious reasons, is interest rates. Yeah. And given the Fed meeting last night, it does appear that that the hiking cycle is over, and now the question is, when will the easing cycle start? But that has portfolio construction implications because we have started to add a few more cyclicals. SK Hynix, a semiconductor stock, is one example, and Sherwin-Williams, which is a paint company, is another example. So we started to add some more cyclicals, and depending on how things go throughout 2024, we could continue to add on the cyclical side.
So really continue to have the sort of balanced approach between high quality growth stocks plus some really good quality cyclicals with earnings momentum.
Yes, exactly. And you raise a good point there that we always invest in quality stocks. Yeah. So one of the other big things that happened in 2023 that we haven't talked about is mega caps massively outperform SMID caps. So if you look at the differential between the Magnificent Seven versus the Russell 2000, it's like this gaping performance differential. But we stick with high quality stocks, and so we are not going to go down the market cap curve and buy some of these lower quality stocks that do look very inexpensive. We stick with the high quality. So there is a group of stocks that's sort of right under the Magnificent Seven. So like Home Depot and Nike, these are stocks that have market caps between $100 and $350 billion. So it's not like they're small, but they are not in the $1 trillion market cap club. And I think that 2024 could be a good year for those kind of stocks.
Yeah, very exciting. So let's look at some of your top picks. So there are some stocks that's done really well in 2023, and specifically in your sort of consumer sector. Can you name perhaps 2 examples of stocks that you've liked over the last year, but also continue to like into 2024?
2 examples. The first would be Mercado Libre. So Mercado Libre is a stock we've owned for about a year and a half now. And the thesis turned out to be correct. So that's always nice as an investor, where you have a thesis and then it plays out almost exactly the way that you had expected. So the idea was that it had been in an earnings downgrade cycle after COVID, but that the Brazilian economy, which is their biggest market, was starting to turn the corner, and that was going to turn GMV and revenues and therefore earnings. And that has played out very, very nicely for Mercado Libre. So it was one of the best performing stocks in our portfolio. In 2023, it was up over 90%, but we still like it. So you know that these are not you know that earnings cycle can take years to play out. It's still getting very strong earnings upgrades, and the valuation is still attractive. In fact, from a PE perspective, it's lower now, more attractive now than it was when we bought it. So still like Mercado Libre. And then Ferrari is another stock that we bought into during 2023, and it's just an amazing stock. I mean, it's an amazing product, but that is just the start of why it's an amazing stock. They have a 2-year wait list for a lot of their models, and so from an earnings visibility perspective, if they know what their revenues are going out 2 years, and they control margins very, very specifically because they are in control of the price, it's a scarcity good. The earnings visibility is sort of second to none in terms of stocks that I look at. So still like Ferrari and still like Mercado Libre.
So that little secret, having pricing power, is really the critical piece of the pie.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Mary, and thank you for everyone that's listened. We wish you a healthy and happy 2024, and we look forward to speaking to you again after the festive season. Thank you.
Thank you.